Joining me this morning is Rob Hurd from the Older Drivers Forum. Welcome, Rob. Can I start by asking you, can you tell me what the Older Drivers Forum is?
Yeah, the Older Drivers Forum is an organisation, it's a non-profit making organisation made up of experts in road safety, health and various different things, all who come together regularly to try and find ways to help and support the mature motorist to carry on driving safely for longer. We're there really as a one-stop shop to give you the advice and signpost you to the right people to help you.
And who makes up the forum? Who else is involved in that with you?
Well, we've got people from the police, we've got people from the fire, people from medical backgrounds, we've got experts in stats so that we know that we're doing the right thing with the right people. We're not about promoting businesses for people. What we're about is actually just trying to give people directions of what is available out there so that they can get their help and support, because before really there was nothing there to help and support people, and we really thought that there was something lacking. The biggest risk for older drivers is actually turning right out of a side road across traffic. So T-junctions or crossroads are the highest risk for older drivers. Around about 70% of all collisions for older drivers occur at those junctions. Now, some of that is because their reactions are a little bit slower. They're a bit slower in looking at things, so they're looking left and right, but by the time they pull out, they're a bit more delayed, so therefore more vehicles have suddenly appeared and come towards them. Or maybe they haven't looked as well because of eyesight issues or lack of mobility in their neck. So that's where the biggest problems come. But that doesn't mean people need to stop. It's just needing to be aware, and there's techniques that people can train. And that's where I'd always recommend getting a driving instructor to take you out, brush up on your skills, and just give you some pointers about how to carry on being safe. Because if people just say, I'm fine and carry on, then like I said to you, they will be a higher risk. And they can reduce that risk massively by having a driving appraisal regularly every 2 or 3 years to brush up on their skills.
To get these kind of refresher, are there specific courses for older drivers? Or
what we're looking at is that there are driver refreshers, driver appraisals. Now, various different organizations run them across the country. Councils, local driving organizations run them. On our website, we have a list of them, and actually there's always one available to someone anywhere in the whole of the country. So if people visited our website and went to the page courses, they could be linked to the various, locate where you live, and basically it will give you a list of different ones. And there's what we say, there's different ones. So there's ones which are just confidence building, where they will come to your home address and take you out in your car and carry out a confidential appraisal of your driving. And really that's a great way just to brush up on your skills. And then there's ones where someone may have an underlying medical condition that may affect their ability to drive. So those people we'd recommend going along to the national organization called Driving Mobility, and they carry out an assessment using driving instructors, but also occupational therapists.
do you think that self-certification at 70 is the right approach?
I don't think it's the right approach for eyesight. I think at the moment, I think that's wrong. And in fact, it's something I'm trying to work with the government at the moment, and I've written a paper on it, and I'm actually sitting on a task force, national task force, where we're trying to show that we actually feel compulsory eyesight testing is an important thing. And I think it's important for older people, but I think it's also important for all ages, because think about it, when was the last time anybody legally has to have their eyesight tested? Well, it's at your driving test. The only time in your whole driving career anybody legally checks your eyesight is when you go to your driving test and they ask you to read a number plate. So for me personally, I think you should do one every 10 years when you renew your photo ID on your license. And certainly at 70 and every year you renew your license after that.
Well, good luck with that campaign. I hope that that's successful, because that will definitely reduce accidents on the road. What do you think about the hidden disability sunflower, Rob?
Many of us suffer from hidden disabilities, whether anxiety or maybe just something that we don't, and none of us really often want to tell people about it. And what a great way of actually showing an identification to someone, so those who need to know see that visible sign and actually can have respect for people and actually treat them with respect. Now, me as a traffic officer, I know we've got Highways England call them traffic officers. I still call myself as a traffic officer or roads policing officer when I was. That would have been a great thing for me as well, because quite often we would come across people that we would stop or come across them at a collision or an incident, and they may be something going on, which we don't know about. And we're thinking, come on, want you to do this, want you to do that. And actually seeing that sign will make you think, aha, I need to have a quick chat with that person. I will need to say to them, is there anything I can see the little sunflower sign on your vehicle? Is there anything that I can help, especially to help with you? Because it's all about respect and care for people, really, at the end of the day. And I think that's where I think this is a really brilliant campaign. And I really hope as many people take up using the sunflower as possible.
Rob's talking about On the Road with the National Highways and the Sunflower, which is a new initiative, a joint initiative between National Highways, formerly Highways England, to supply a free sunflower for drivers to put on the rear of their vehicle, so that if they're involved in an incident of any type on a motorway or major A road, that when the traffic officers arrive on the scene, they're already armed with the fact that somebody inside has a disability.
I mean, I had an occasion myself once where I attended a crash and I was trying to get people to move and various cars to get around, because it's often when you first turn up chaos in these situations, and you're going up to people and you're sometimes being, quite abrupt because you're wanting to make the scene safe and move people around. And actually there was this one person just looking at me, and I was just thinking, come on, move, why are you doing this? What's going on? I was starting to get concerned about them, thinking, this is strange. They're just deliberately ignoring me. And then I realized they were deaf. They couldn't understand a word I was saying. And I was too busy kind of going like this and talking to them in the radio and this, that, and the other. They couldn't see me. And they were trying to lip read me. And I was just coming out confused. And the person kind of went something like this. And I went, well, and then I suddenly went, ding, light bulb in my head went. And I thought, you're deaf. So I just went, and I said, can you lip read? And they went, yes. And I just not slowly, it's wrong to say you don't slow down your speech. You speak normally, but I made it clear and I looked at them. And I think that made such a difference. Now, I felt embarrassed after that. I went away and I felt, we can't take people just the way we look at people, because all of us have issues, underlying issues that affect us, and maybe things. And therefore, I think if we can just raise that little awareness to people at an early stage, so that, when I turn up and see that little sunflower on the back of your vehicle, it is going to make that light bulb for me go click. So if you have got something, I really would urge people to get the sticker and stick it on the back of your vehicle, because I think it would help you.
And finally, how do people find out more about the Older Drivers Forum? How do they join your webinars?
The most important thing is to have a look at our website, really, at the end of the day. So it's Older Drivers Forum, so you can .com. So you can either put in that www.olderdriversforum.com, or you can basically put in your search engine Older Drivers or Older Drivers Forum, and you'll come up with us on the web page, and then just visit. And what I'd really suggest to people is explore the website a bit. Okay, so we've got a page called Advice, and if you drop down from that, there's lots of stuff on there, from renewing your driving license to eyesight. We've got a lot of useful videos about driving at night, dealing with roundabouts, turning right at junctions, lots of different things. We've got lots of recordings from previous webinars on interesting subjects, like I've already mentioned. But there's just a whole plethora of stuff on there for people. So what we'd say is explore the website, have a look on there. You can find courses in your area. And if you want to know when new webinars come up, there's a follow button on our website. Just click on there, put in your email details. As soon as we post, we'll always be posting updates about things. We're not going to be sending people lots of emails. So you'll only get an email when a post is put on the website, which would be about something new happening. So you're not going to get bombarded. And we certainly, I promise you, do not sell your details to anybody, because we're not about that. It's about, I hate getting bombarded by spam. So you won't get any of that. I promise you that.
And are you on social media as well?
Yeah, we're on Facebook as well. So
okay.
We have Older Drivers Forum on Facebook as well. And we're looking at moving into Twitter as well.
Rob, thank you so much. This has been a really, really interesting chat. I found it it's been incredibly informative, as all the chats that I have with people are. And it's definitely the most favourite aspect of my job. I really enjoy it.
Thank you for your time, and very much appreciate it. And I do think what you're doing with the Hidden Sunflower organisation, Hidden Disability Sunflower, is just wonderful. I really do. I think and that's why we were keen to have you on our webinars as well, because I think it's a real good source for people, and all of us, a lot of us have a hidden disability that, we want people to know about, but we want the right people to know about it at the right time.